What is up, GOAT World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video. We are back with Friday, and today I got another new deck for you guys. But before we hop in, if you wish to play in a GOAT Grand Prix, the signups for all the events on the season are open. Go ahead and find one in your local area and get out there and play some IRL Yu-Gi-Oh today. If you want to play online, we have PWCQ that is taking place tomorrow. So get on in there. Sign up should be open for that very soon. But enough of that. Today, I am going to be playing a deck I like to call Mud Fairies, aka Madura Fairies, aka Earth Fairies. I was watching something and I saw the character from Yu-Gi-Oh! I saw Ishizu from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Animated series, and she played a very interesting Earth Fairy deck, and I was like, you know what, I want to give it a shot. So I looked into a deck that the good homie Grumplestiltskin used to play, and I thought it was really cool, but I just wanted to kind of Ishizu it a little bit more to kind of pay homage to a character from that show. I thought it was kind of cool, you know, Earth Fairies. Like, why not? You know, it's Friday. Let's go ahead and just try to have some fun and play something a little bit different. Real quick, I'll go through a card by card for people who may not know what these cards are or what they do. We're going to start with 3 copies of Madora. Madora is a 4-star Earth Fairy that gains 200 attack for each fairy monster in the graveyard. So I don't really have too many fairies, but I am going to go with the Agent of Creation Venus, and paired with the Mystic Shine Balls. You pay that 1,000, you add the Shine Balls, and when all 3 of those go to the graveyard, now your guy's going to be sitting at a pretty bulky 2,100, which is interesting because it can be a giant rat target. So a giant rat is going to lead to a 2,100 Madora. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to go for. That's the power play of this deck. You know, it's not the greatest deck, but that's something cool that this deck can do. I also want to play Kelbeck because this is another card that Ishizu played. It's another Earth Fairy that says when this card is attacked by a monster, after damage calculation, return that monster to the owner's hand. I think that's a really cool card. It's kind of a niche interaction and it's kind of bad most of the time, but it does have 1,800 defense as all these guys do, and I think that's an interesting stat line. I really want to try to feature the other guys, the Agito and the Keldo, but they were just so bad. So to proxy those guys, I put Air Knight Farshaft in there because that kind of looks like Keldo or a little bit, or Agito, one of those guys, and it's kind of cool, and it kind of looks like a card Ishizu could play. And I also want to use Breaker because Breaker kind of proxy looks like those guys too, so maybe I'm getting away with it, but I got to make this deck at least somewhat playable. Those cards are just so bad that I can't even figure out a way to get them into the game. I wanted to put Injection Fairy in there because it is a giant rat target, and it does say fairy, and it is an earth, but for some reason they made this card a spellcaster, which I think was a huge L by the Upper Deck Entertainment or Konami, whoever the hell was making these typings. You call the card Injection Fairy Lily, and then you turn around and make the thing a spellcaster. Get out of my face. What are we talking about? Also, so you already mentioned the Agent of Creations, and I just got some other Earth targets that I can get. I got the Sengen because it can pretty much get everyone in the deck except for the Agent of Creation, and I have the Jinzo in there because I am going to be main decking these double brain controls. I think brain control is good in a deck like this because I'm able to bring out the Agent of Creation, base boosted the Mystic Shine Balls. Maybe I can slap United We Stand down, take a brain control, take their guy, and hopefully push for some serious damage. But with brain control, I can also tribute for Air Knight, tribute for Jinzo. Maybe I can overwhelm my opponent with just more damage. I'm also playing Smashing Ground. I'm just really Smashing Ground pills right now. I think Smashing Ground is a good card, especially in like pseudo aggro decks, which what this deck is. It's basically an Earth aggro deck, but worse. It's basically a fairy deck, but worse, you know, so it has a lot of the weaknesses of those decks and not all the strengths. So I just want to add some cards like Smashing Ground to kind of clear the way, and maybe I can just get to an aggressive position fast enough and just try to close out games. And I'm also going to be anchoring myself with these Royal Decrees and Jinzo just to cut off all the traps and just try to get downhill as soon as I can. Going on into the side deck, I'm going to play Spell Cancel because, as you guys know, or if you've been on the ladder for the past week or so, Reason and Gate has just been like a deck that is just literally taking over the whole thing. You really can't get a game, you know, or 2 in a row without running into Reason Gate. So I want to put Spells Counselor in there. I have Mobius in there because Warriors and Brain Control compare well with it, as well as those Berserk Gorillas. I do have another Mystic Swordsman level 2 is going to be in the side deck for the Turbo matchup. Also, the Giant Rat can float into the Mystic Swordsman. Sometimes that can be groovy, sometimes it's whatever. I am playing the Assure Priest for Go Control. The Hysteric Fairy is going to be for burn. And I'm also going to try this card. I mean, if it can't fit in this deck, I don't know what deck it can go in, but I want to try the Kotodama because I've theorized for this card and I've talked to other people around the community about this card, and I just want to see if it can work. So if you don't know what Kotodama does, it says if there are face-up monsters with the same name on the field, destroy those monsters. Okay, so this card can basically blow up the Gravekeeper Spy lock that kind of takes over sometimes. If they have multiple copies of Sork for whatever reason, can blow both of those up. It's very niche, very weird, and also can kind of pair well with Creature Swap sometimes because it does have 0 attack, and it is an Earth, and it is a Fairy. So maybe Ishizu could have played this card. Who knows? It's a very weird looking card. I don't think anyone's ever used it before. So I thought I'd try in this deck and see if it's going to see if it can maybe come up huge, or maybe it won't. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And I just got the Trap Dust Shoots for going first in certain situations, and the Mirror Force and a Torrential Tribute. But here's the deck. Tell me what you guys think. It's Friday. I just want to try something different. There's really no reason to play a deck like this unless you're taking it onto the ladder or going to a local situation. You're just trying to have some fun and let your hair down a little bit, and maybe you can send the Ishizu after some duelists. You never know. You just never know. But also, I do like doing these character inspired decks, man. So if you guys have some ideas of some other characters you want to see an inspirational deck from, let me know and maybe we can make that happen. Go ahead and like and subscribe, man, as we are rocking and rolling with the GOAT format content lately. So continue to like and subscribe, and make sure you turn your notification bells on. Okay, so here we are at the replay. I wanted to do a live duel, and I really tried to shoot a live duel, but the dueling book ladder was having a lot of issues. There was a lot of lag and latency problems, and I couldn't get it. And just the matchups just were just so. I'm playing some jank, and everyone else, I guess they had the same idea. I'm still pretty low on the ladder right now, so I'm just not getting matched up with a lot of the competitive meta decks, but still is okay. So this is what I got. You know, these aren't the best meta matchups. It's not a true test of what this deck can do, but this is what I had. I'm trying to. I can't sit here and play games all night to try to find the best matchups or whatever. Maybe I can start reaching out to the Discord. Maybe I can find better matchups that way. Anyway. All right, so here we go. We're hopping into the first replay that I have. It's going to be against a duelist that goes by the name of Misfit 13. Rocking the Plague Spreader Zombie, rocking with the program. Yo, shout out to you, Misfits 13. As they start, I kind of got ahead of myself a little bit. They start with Giant Rat Summon and pass because they're playing, looks like they're playing the zombie strategy, and I get my patent pending combo. I got Braincon into Ironite. You know what I'm saying? If I see Braincon Airknight, I'm taking that most of the time. I pay the 800, bring forth the Airknight Parshaft, and I ram on in with 19, gets in clean, and I get my Airknight draw, which always feels great. I'll set my MST just in case of Snatch Steal and pass back on over to my opponent, and they got the Tribute to the Doomed on me, which is rough riding. I think they could have even went Tribute to the Doom. They kicked the card destruction. They probably could have kicked the damn Spirit Reaper and then booked it back and said something. I don't know. That could have been a vibe. As they come on in with the Reaper, maybe they're trying to save the Book of Life for another Reaper in case I get rid of this one. So Reaper strong, hits my Royal Decree. I don't hate it. And then I just go ahead and bring out the Agent of Creation Venus. Just try to do a little bit of damage, because at the end of the day, this is an aggressive deck. It's trying to do damage, you know. So I'm just trying to pile it up on my opponent. Boom, hit him for 13, hit him for the 250, hit him for 250. So that's a lot of damage, you know, over top of the Spirit Reaper in attack position. And then if you try to do something swifty, I can come back with this Injection Fairly maybe next time. Who knows? As they bring forth the Breaker the Magic Warrior, Breaker is going to kill the MST, pop into the Mystic Shine Ball, and I'm still on my back foot again. Go ahead and bring out the Giant Rat in attack position. Giant Rat's going to crash into the Breaker. Get out the Medora, because now Medora has 2 fairies, so it's going to be boosted up to 1900, and then Medora is going to be able to smack into the Breaker the Magic Warrior. Love to see it. As we're going to go ahead and kick the Mystic Shine Ball to defense position, pass it on over. They go ahead and set the Magician of Faith, set to set book. Oh, I remember this play. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this. So so here we go. I go ahead and rip the Nobleman Across out, and then I set the Delinquent Duo, and then I summon the Sangin. I don't know why I did this. I don't know what that play was all about, but maybe I honestly do not know. But it's all good. They got the Torrential Tribute for me, and it looks like I lost a lot of value, but I did. It did not feel good, but you did get rid of your Spirit Reaper. I didn't have an answer for it anyway. I go for the Giant Rat, and then I go ahead and rip the Delinquent Duo here, because I feel that their hand is going to be Book of Life. And if they go Book of Life right there, I'm feeling bad, because they can get the Spirit Reaper back and continue to assault. But my opponents had a pretty heads up set on that Book of Life, and they're able to get the Spirit Reaper on me anyway, and they're able to bear down on me with 300. So I'm like, man, why did I do that? I could have just chilled. But it's probably better, honestly, to just get that crap out of the way. And if the Sangin did go, it would float, and I could have floated to, you know, an answer to that thing. As they get bricked on the Vampire Lord, which sucks, man. Hate to see my homie getting bricked up like that. Hate to see it. As I get into the Snatch Steal, I snatch and I battle down for 14, and my opponent is actually on a clock as they reach into the Thunder Dragon. They don't activate it, probably not trying to show some weakness, and I just bring out the Agent of Creation and then just smack on in for GG. So I got blown up by Torrential Tribute there unnecessarily, but still, you kind of get an idea. These are always going to be ideas and concepts that I do when I show these decks, because you guys know what the meta is. You know what the good decks are. You know what the good cards to play are. But I still think that there are ideas and concepts that you can do to just play the game and pass time, and maybe you can do something fun to have your own concepts. Maybe Mud Fairies, maybe Medora Fairies, or maybe Ishizu Fairies may not be the next meta breaking deck idea, but damn, it might be something to do to have some fun and shake it up a little bit. As I got Snatch Air Knight again, I keep opening this Air Knight, and I'm gonna keep snatching and putting it on the field. But my opponent did side into Skill Drain, which I just never saw coming, which is actually quite robust against me now that I think about it, because my Medoras just won't work, my injection won't work, my agent stuff won't work, my Air Knight's not working. It just really cut off. Skill Drain is actually super strong against, so that's a good play for my opponent, bringing in Skill Drain against me. But I still have the initiative, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Nomen Cross out on the Sengen, and I'm gonna smash in for 19, smash in for 16, get ringed up. We both take the 19, no big deal, as we will go ahead and continue on to the main phase 1. They get into the Zumbara to Dark, which is huge for them, but unfortunately for them, they are going to have the Book of Moon, but I top the MST like the Sacker. Go ahead and play that thing in the draw phase, creature swap, and I got exact lethal damage, which is going to be 16 direct, and my opponent is going to throw up the GGs. Huge shout out to you, Misfits. Thanks for being a good sport about it. I know we're having some computer issues during that, and thank you for subscribing to the channel, and I love you too. You know, hearts all around to Misfit13. If you see this video, hopefully you go ahead and leave a like or something, and we'll pin that comment. But thanks for subscribing, and literally thanks for everyone who's always so courteous and kind on the ladder, as we're out here playing, man, and just trying to get the content out and trying to keep the GOAT format going. And it honestly, it really won't be what it is without everyone who's a part of this community, who's watching these videos, who's interacting with the videos, who got their notification bells on, who just, even if you don't like me personally, or if you don't like the format personally, or if you don't like whatever, you're just keeping engaging with it, and that's what keeps it, you know, going. So I really appreciate that, and thank you guys for doing that. Shout out to all of you guys. So we're gonna go scissors again as Steve and me. Again, I can show you my records. These are all in a row. I just played these games. I'm not picking games. I just literally went down a row, and I went from zombies to Cyberjar Dimension Fusion Fire deck. Like, I don't know what's happening on the ladder. There's so much heat out there right now. It's maybe too much heat. We need to dial the heat back a little bit. Maybe it's my fault because I'm playing Mud Fairies, so I get paired up with Inferno Fire Dimension Fusion, the deck, dude. As we got UFO Turtle is bearing down. So I see this UFO Turtle, and in my head, whenever I see UFO Turtle, I automatically, for some reason, maybe I'm just traumatized, I always think limit removal. I don't know why. UFO Turtle limit removal, just for some reason. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the tribe. Pitch the Air Knight. Air Knight's back in. So this is the third game in a row Air Knight has hit the field and has gotten in for an attack, which is insane. As Air Knight Parshaft in 2024 is just nuts. As my opponent's going to go Minecon, pop Air Knight, Minecon, pop Tribe, pitch, bring out the Inferno. I'm just like, bro, what are we cooking, dude? What are we on? As we're gonna go for Dimension Fusion, we're gonna bring back the damn UFO turret, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But his whole hand is gone, and your position is kind of vulnerable, as they're gonna come down in with the Inferno, bring on in the UFO turtle, and I just have to eat it. But I got the cards that can kind of blow up this whole situation here. As I go Graceful, and then I'm gonna kick the Jinzo, and I kind of make a misplay. I think I probably should have kicked the Medora, honestly, but I felt that since having two monsters is better than none, you know what I'm saying? So I just keep both, and then maybe I can summon them both, and they're both going to be base boosted to 17 because I have the Air Knight and the GY. So I'm kind of chilling with it as I set one base boost to 17, run over the Inferno, which has 1900 defense for some reason. That's just insane. Like, I wanted to smash, I don't know, but I can smash afterwards. It didn't matter, but I just realized Inferno has 1900 defense. Like, what? Why? Like, why does that thing have 1900 defense? That's so strange. As they go ahead and draw into the Mirror Force, which is perfect for them, but I have this set Royal Decree, and I feel invulnerable. I'm going to bring out another 1700 dude, blast on in for 34, flip Royal Decree, vibrate, move on over to the next game as Steve and me rocking the Fire Fusion. Maybe we can make a Fire Fusion deck. Maybe we can do something with Fire and Fusion to help out Steve Me, or maybe we can see what Steve Me is cooking, because now they got the damn Spirit big boys in there, the big boy spirits. Maybe they got that Fire Sacrifice dude in there too, Pyromancer, whatever the hell his name is. You know what I'm talking about. As I go and bring in the Berserker Gorilla because they had a lot of attacking options, I get Graceful Charity again. As we're going to go ahead and draw 3, and I get the freaking Delinquent Duo. So I'm just sacking my opponent as I go ahead and attack, and could be this thing, I don't know, fire freaking, it's a fire, are you Fire Pure? No, you got Morphin Jar in there too, so that's pretty cool. And then I'm going to get into the Delinquent Duo. Hopefully I can grab that Snatch Steal or something like that, as I'm gonna rip the Hino Kagatasuchi, and I'm just like, bro, what is happening to me right now? Why is this happening? Where is this happening? What is happening? As I go ahead and bring out Mudora, get ripped by a Torrential Tribute. That's only a 2 for 2, so I'm kind of fine with this. As my opponent gets to the Pot of Greed, draws into the Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell, sets 2 and vibes. I think they kept this set just in case I go for a knock or something. They can pay the cost for this card, which I think is an absolute terrible card. I hate Curse Seal, the Forbidden Spell, not gonna lie. So I bring in the Giant Rat and just swing in. Never in 1,000 years did I ever anticipate a Morphing Jar will be set, and I just get completely eviscerated by Morphing Jar. Lose my hand, draw 5, and then I'll go ahead and I think I threw the Rat in the grave because for some reason I was so shocked by seeing a Morphing Jar that. Because I saw Cyber Jar last time, so I was thinking maybe that was Cyber Jar that just went off. But Morphing Jar just I didn't see it coming, and it absolutely blasted me. No big deal. I go for heavy, and then they Curse Seal the Forbidden Spell, the Heavy Storm. And again, I see this card, and I'm like, man, I'm just tilted. I'm shook. I'm rattled. I don't understand why he's playing this card, especially against me. I don't know. That kind of card is really, really bad. Magic Jammer is just better. Solemn Judgment is just better. Magic Drain is even better. There's so many other cards that are better than Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell, but it is what it is. As my Heavy Storm is gone, I don't have any way to get it back. Then I get Soul Release, so you got the freaking anti-Mudora tech in your deck as well. You're going to double Soul, which I don't know about that second Soul. I don't play Faith. I don't have any ways to get that back. I guess you don't really know that, but you're going to rock with it. You're going to go and snatch my Giant Rat, bring out literal Satan, and then smack in for 1,000, 14, and 2,000. I'll eat all that. I have counter plays and follow-ups. I'm not too worried about it as I get into the smashing ground, and then I go ahead and set and summon. Make another little misplay here, just not doing basic mathematics, and I forget that Giant Rat's defense is actually quite large, you know what I'm saying? So I was thinking I could just do like a smashing ground situation where I, you know, hit the devil, crash into the Giant Rat, get another card out, hit the Sangan, and then, you know, we're rocking and rolling. But that did not work out that way. But I still was able to get the Mud Fairy out. Mud is going to go ahead and smack into Sangan, and then I'll just have to end with a smashing ground here. So smashing ground gets the demon off the field, pass it on. This thing's not even a fiend, which is crazy. That's an oversight as they bring out Inferno in defense position. So like I was saying, this damn Inferno has 1,900 defense for whatever reason. I draw into the Injection Fairy Lily, and I think for a second about just trying to just attack this thing and just continue to pressure. But I really got one pump with this thing, and I just kind of want to make sure that that pump is being used for a game time situation instead of just get through a defensive guy. So my opponent smacks into the defense position Mudora, who also has 1,800 defense for whatever reason. You know, these things got some really beefy defensive stats, and you kind of played yourself by putting this Inferno in attack position, as now I can just pitch everyone in to attack and then smack in. Mirror Force is going to get hit with Royal Decree, and then I'm just going to go ahead and walk out of there with a dub. So I'm playing this deck. I'm just literally just rocking down on the ladder, and I roll from, you know, zombies, and now I'm into fire Dimension Fusion, the deck, and now I'm playing against a duelist that goes by, shout out to my previous opponent as well, I'm playing against a duelist that goes by the name of Kaiba Bussy 18. I think I played this duelist before, and I got Brain Air Knight again. Like, what are the chances? There's something algorithmic about these computers, and about, I'm convinced, like I got it again. So I got Brain Air Knight again. I just go ahead and set up the Royal Decree, pass on over to my opponent, who sets up the Dark Mimic. As you can see, they're playing Exodia. So this is like the weirdest, this whole thing is just like so surreal at this moment. When I see the Dark Mimic, I'm like, what is going on? I do not understand. What are the chances that these things are happening to me on this day when I'm trying to be like more casual, trying to let my hair down and just play a cool, fun deck? Everyone else has that same energy, which is insane. So I go for they go for a Sakuretsu armor. I go and Royal Decree it, no big deal. They hit the Nomen of Cross out, and then I see all the Dark Mimics come out of the deck, and then they bring out the Emissary of the Afterlife, of which I'm going to bring out the Mud. The Mud is down. I have one fairy, so that bad boy's at 17. And then I get out the Agent of Creation. I go ahead and hit the Brain Gun, and then they book the guy. And I think for a moment, and then just go ahead and Air Knight, slice into this thing. I had to check his stats because I feel it had like 400 defense. Maybe I go with this Agent of Venus, crash the ball, and try to push and save the Air Knight for next turn. But it is what it is. As they get the damn arm of Exodia, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I lose to Exodia like once a week. Not gonna lie, Exodia claps my cheeks at least once a week on this Go format rated ladder. People be playing Exodia and I'll be losing to it. As they bring out the Mystical Shine Ball, the Agent of Creation is going to smack on in with 16, and then 19 will get on in clean. I get a draw, pass it on over, and they're going to have to scoop there. As Kaiba Bussy, number 18, is going to be going first, playing the Exodia strategy. As they get a really, really nice hand with Pot of Greed is going to go. They get Thunder Dragon 1 and 2. They're going to get the Graceful Charity. Man, I'm just like, dude, can I get a freaking break, please? As they go ahead and spam and slam the Emissary, pass it on over. So they got Emissary, they got Sangan, they got 2 pieces already. This is looking quite good. This is looking quite good for the opponent. But I do have Graceful Charity of my own, and I do have Delinquent Duo. For some reason, I set the damn, the damn Giant Rat first, as I rip a piece of Exodia, which is just lovely, and I pass back on over to my opponent. My opponent goes Sangan, Emissary, smack into the Giant Rat. Giant Rat grabs Injection Fairy Lily, and they pass back on over. I go Breaker. Breaker is going to pop the Solemn Judgment, which, man, I've been cool if I'd hit that damn backup soldier, but I think they could chain. How many cards do you need? What does this thing say? While there are 5 more monsters in your graveyard, target up to 3 non-effect monsters, 1,500 less. Yeah, so they could have changed it. I would have been bamboozled. So never mind, I made the right hit. I smack into the Sangan for 16. Take a little bit of damage. Smack into the Emissary of the Afterlife. Take a little bit more damage. I'm holding on to this United We Stand because that's like a kill shot, you know. So I don't want to just use that right away. As they go ahead and set the Dequaichi, the Battle Chanted Locomotive, I bring out the Mystic Sword level 2, and then put the United Stand on the Breaker, and then I just go ahead and push on in for a game. United We Stand is a crazy card. I know it's freaking Exodia, and it's like, I mean, but still, you can kind of take away some things from everything, and I think United We Stand is kind of good, man. It's kind of a playable card, especially in certain matchups when you know there's not a lot of defense coming your way, or if you're playing against Burn, you can use those Ojama tokens to kind of push for massive damage. That's a huge amount of damage that you're adding to your mons. All right, so I think this is the last replay that I have. So I went Zombies, I went Dim Fuse Fire, I went Exodia, and now I'm going into Deadpool 969, and I'm playing against freaking Tiger Stun, it appears. Tiger Stun is back. Like, now this matchup is actually quite tough. Main deck King Tiger against my Giant Rat deck and my Shining Ball deck, I think it's pretty tough. But I go ahead and set the Giant Rat anyway, and hopefully it would just attack into it, but I kind of got bamboozled with the damn Zumbira of the Dark. And I just go ahead and bring forth the Kelbeck. You'll get plus, but you'll lose a little bit of tempo because you're going to have to get your bounce back King Tiger to your hand, as we're going to continue on in the main phase 1. For me, I rip Graceful again. Graceful, I'll kick the Injection, I kick the Sangan, bring out Breaker. Breaker pops the MST, which is huge, and then I can grab the Injection Fairy Lily, slam United We Stand onto it, and then smash over the Zumbira the Dark, and then smash in direct with 34. So I'm out here getting my Injection Fairy Lily on, pounding town for 34 as my opponent gets to the Snatch Steal, drops my Breaker down to 24. Injection can run over it. They're gonna have to pay still, and then Kaiku is going to get in clean for 18. And I'm just like, damn, oh damn, please don't set any more traps, please, no more traps. And they set something onto the field. I'm like, okay, so I got this Giant Rat creature swap play, which is quite huge. But my opponent has the Tech Ceasefire, which is awesome for them because they were able to chain it. What they should have done, no, they would have lost. Never mind, they couldn't have waited. They could not have waited because they can't activate that in the damage step, and they would have lose the game before they were able to chain it. So I think they made a heads up play in the main phase 1. Maybe they could have, what they should have done, looking back on it now, what they should have done was waited until the battle phase. Waited until the battle phase, and then you make this play. Because I think there's a great play that they made, rear heads up play, but they just did it too early because you knocked me out of injection range, but you didn't take away my battle phase. So that was a huge misplay for my opponent. All they had to do was wait, and they probably would have been in a much better spot. But Kaiku is going to go ahead and take out the Giant Rat. We're bringing out the Mud. The Mud is going to Ishizu right on in there for a Mud dub. Love to see it. I think that's the combo right there. Creature swap, send them the Rat, attack into the Rat, you bring out the Mud, and you mud up. Okay, you get muddy. Mud Fairies. Okay, cool. So I got Graceful. They got DD Assailants in there now, which I think is another great card in this matchup. They also have Enemy Controller. Not feeling that one, not gonna lie. I got the Shine Balls being spammed and slammed out again in attack position because I'm gonna go for this creature swap play. If they got Ring or something, I could just send the other one. And then DD Assailant's gonna be able to smack on in. We're taking pretty big damage there. And then 16 gets in, 500 gets in, and then we're going to pass. I'm actually going to hold this Grapes of Charity just in case I need something and maybe I can get it. As they go for the Snatch Steal, able to bounce back. Great bounce back from them, clearing my entire board, doing a little bit of damage in the process. I do have some outs, but I'm really hoping for a heavy storm. I got 4 chances to get to it. As we're going to go for a Graceful Charity, we're going to get another Shining, or we're going to get another Agent of Creation. We got Singing. I kick both of those out. And then I set Royal Decree. I set Giant Rat. So that's cool. And I think that's really cool from my perspective too, because looking at their hand, they have this Exile Force and they can't even use it because their own damn King Tiger is protecting me. You work for me now. And if you're attacking to my guy, I got Mud coming your way and he can just get base boosted. So my opponent makes another critical error here because they attack with this DD Assailant, which I think is a huge misplay. They should have attacked with this King Tiger, because if this exact scenario were to happen, King Tiger can kill everything, and then DD Assailant can kill everything else. So this guy's attack is much more valuable than, if you're watching this replay, I'm not making fun of anybody. Everyone's new, everyone's got their thing, and we're all here to learn and get better. So I'm not trying to ridicule anyone or make anyone feel less than about whatever mistakes they may have made. But just for next time, if you have this DD Assailant and you have this King Tiger in this situation, go in with the King Tiger, because the King Tiger can't kill it. Guess what? Ninja Grandmaster can. And if King Tiger does kill it, and this happens, you know what I'm saying, your DD Assailant will be free and clear to kill this thing, and then you can come on in with 18, and you're in a much better spot. But now you got this Mud is on you. The Mud is out, and he's buff as hell, dude. The Mud is out, and he is pissed off, man. He's super yoked. He's at 2300, 4-star, coming in clean. That's Goblin Attack Force with 1800 defense and no letdowns. As we're going to make another critical misplay here from my opponent's perspective, as we're still in the battle phase. I think they think that they might have game somewhere. I don't even think that is game, even if it was at 23. But this guy is only going to work from your graveyard. Notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fairies, and you have 0. You know what I'm saying? So his attack is going to go back to its original 1500, man. It's just that's the way the Mud works, man. You got to have fairies. He's fine with no fairies, but when he's got fairies in the graveyard, he gets buffed and pissed. And I don't think that would have been game anyway, as that's 23, 17, and 18. But you do get rid of the Snatch Steal stuff, so you don't have to worry about giving me any more additional life points. But still, I still think that was not the correct cash money play to make, as you're going to go ahead and bring out the Snatch Steal, bring out the Brain Control, summon the tribe, and then just go ahead and United We Stand. And Ishizu Mud is going to get the dub. So unfortunately, I didn't get those high quality matchups that I would want, you know, to play. But still, it's Friday. It's a fun deck. It's something to do. I'm glad that those opponents came out and they were all super chill. But I just want to kind of get this deck out, get the videos out there. I'm really focusing on the content, trying to keep it rolling, man. And if I can do more decks, more stuff like this, send me your guys' decks, send me your ideas, and we'll continue to do that. Well, duelists, that's all I have. As always, I'm JDZ. I play Ghosts. Until the next time, shout out to all the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.